Welcome everyone today to our webcast where Barb Nash will be discussing how to create compelling technical documentation and training programs. Barb, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Corrine. Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending. I'm a project lead for learning content development at ASCENT related to Innovia, Windchill, Autodesk Vault, and Fusion 360 Manage. As well as managing PLM custom training projects, I manage some of our technical writing and document creation projects that you'll hear more about today. This is our agenda. First, I'll provide some information about ASCENT. Then I'll provide a short overview of ASCENT's professional services that help you communicate complex information. The services are technical editing, writing, and document creation, and customized training. Then we'll look at some customer project examples with a before and after view of each project. And then we'll end off with stepping through what takes place in each stage of these projects and how we work with you throughout the project. For those of you who may not know much about ASCENT, we are a division of RAND Worldwide, and we have over 25 years of curriculum development experience. We have full-time dedicated developers and writers with backgrounds in engineering, instructional design, project management. We work with most major CAD and PLM software. We are an authorized, Autodesk authorized publisher provider since 2010. And our curriculum comes in print, ebook, and e-learning formats. With regards to the e-learning formats, this can be contained within our LMS, Learning Management System, or yours. And we have a global production and distribution system. Overview of ASCENT's professional services. We'll first start with technical editing, writing, and document creation services. The products and services you provide your clients likely come with some form of documentation. These services that we provide help you make sure that before you share that documentation, that it's clear, concise, compelling, and grammatically correct. Note that these services cover any machine, product, or software-related content and not just CAD and PLM learning content. These services can be for online help documentation, user and administrator guides, operations manuals, and more. We also offer free document assessment report services, which we'll tell you more about later in the webcast. As for customized training services, this service involves us working together to provide customized materials or e-learning by creating new content or leveraging our existing CAD and PLM content. Oops. Yeah, if you're familiar with ASCENT, you probably know that we have a vast library of standard curriculum on software from Dassault Systems, PTC, and Autodesk. As well mentioned earlier, we are an Autodesk authorized publisher, so if you may have used our training materials in a classroom or on live online at one time, all this content can be customized to suit your needs. And if you're not familiar with our curriculum, it is process-based, how-to training. It comes in bite-sized topics with relevant practice exercises, real-world projects, and extensive visuals to help communicate the information. And it's developed by full-time subject matter experts, technical writers, and instructional designers. So customized training services are for clients looking for targeted learning content suited to their company's environment, best practices, and processes. Shown here are our levels of customization. So for topic, you would choose from these bite-sized topics from our library. And then practice, you can incorporate your models into the practice exercises. And workflow is for when we can incorporate your company's processes into the content, such as adding your start part processes into the exercises or incorporating your engineering change processes and those workflows into the material. And unique is for when designing original content is required for your learners, which could include creating content on custom tools or on how you design and manage your specific products. The unique option can also involve a mix of all the other options. To sum it up, you can pick and choose what ASCENT library content can stay generic and what you would like customized to suit your company's product designs or customized environment or workflow processes or best practices. This way, your content is focused on what your end users need to know. We found that the main goal of our clients is to make their technology adoptions as successful as possible and their end users as comfortable and as productive as possible with the new technology. Now moving on to customer examples, I'll show customer examples relating to our technical editing, writing, and document creation services first. These project deliverables include implementation guides, operation manuals, design and construction standards, and online help. I'll also describe our document assessment reports mentioned earlier. And first off, I will describe why some of these images are blurry. So they are blurry on purpose due to customers' custom content. This project involved a company who developed software for managing clubs such as golf courses, so completely different from CAD and PLM. They wanted to enhance their current software implementation guides, which had many separate documents, Excel spreadsheets to capture the client information. Their goals were to create a combined customizable PDF with Adobe Forms and with a modern style and format. The client felt that the new guides improved the usability of the forms that collected all this client input for each project. This next project involved a leading manufacturer of packaging and strapping solutions. They were looking to update their operations manuals that involve both the physical machine operations performed by the operators, as well as the touchscreen interface operations. So they had out-of-date operations manuals that were used by the operators and customer support. And these manuals referenced out-of-date touchscreen software. So these all needed to be updated, these procedures. And so we created new operations manuals with a modern design and structure. And we used the CAD models that they had and screenshots of the new user interface to help describe each of these machines' operations, including their touchscreen operations. Moving right along, this next project involved our client Strathcona County and creating the county's design and construction standards as a smart PDF with links pointing to other sections of the guide. So this is the documentation that guides contractors and project managers when building municipal utility, transportation, and open space infrastructure. So they had all their existing materials all in separate documents, and they required a complete overhaul, amalgamation of all the documents and modernization of them. So we created that smart PDF. It was a huge volume of information, but it was all contained in one with these links that I mentioned that pointed to different volumes and different sections. A fun fact about this project was that ASCENT was mentioned in their municipal council meeting that was streamed online when they were discussing the project.
That was fun. I got to watch that.
Yeah. Okay, and this next one is an online help project. So this client develops their own custom software product that required its own online help system. So we leveraged our existing templates, so that saved some time, and the structure, and created all the help pages accessing the customer's software remotely. So this involved not only document creation, but also tech writing and editing. And the client also was able to link from their software directly to the online help content as well. so that when somebody was working within the software, they could just simply click a link and be directed to the online help. Okay, this next one involved the creation of a document assessment report. So this client, they knew they needed some work on a procedural document that they had. So it had inconsistent formatting and terminology, and end users were making mistakes and using up a lot of time redoing their mistakes. So in this case, they didn't have the internal resources available who had technical writing and editing skills. So they came to us to see how these types of documents could be improved. As shown on the right, we produced a document assessment report providing feedback on the purpose of the document, on language, content, and more. But that gives you an idea of what these document assessment reports are all about, and we'll talk more about them later. And this shows you an example of a software simulation. So it's a common component of some of our e-learning content. And for those who, and it's basically a deliverable many of times that you'll see when I talk about customized training, but I'll just play this for you, and you can see how it works. For those who are not familiar with it, with software simulations, they allow you to practice a process hands-on as if you're in the actual environment. So this, as you can imagine, comes in very handy in PLM environments to avoid having to set up a training database, for example, and having to reset them and so forth. So as you can see here, it basically guides you through. You can have it hand-holding, meaning you can give them specific instructions on what to do, or you can just give hints. So it's all up to you. It's very customizable. Now moving on to our customer examples of customized training. Many of the projects leveraged the ASCENT CAD and PLM library generic content, and then we added the company's custom best practices and workflows. The common factor in all these examples was that our clients and users wanted the learning focused on what they needed to know to save time, and in order to get them up and running and successful using the new software as quickly as possible. So this project was a CAD PLM technical adoption project involving Innovia at an automotive technology company. The company had workflows and documentation as shown in the before image. From lessons learned from their previous PLM system implementation, this client knew that they needed a more focused training program this time. So they had estimates of how much time they wanted each role to spend on training. We analyzed the workflows and worked with them to map their roles to their need to know tasks. So this resulted in us creating 16 role-based e-learning modules that they uploaded into their in-house learning management system. So you can see there on the right that they were grouped into the groupings there: orientation, change management, fundamentals, CAD integration, custom tools, and project management. And the modules themselves included interactive content. We kept it engaging. They had quizzes, hands-on practice in the form of software simulations. And this content, although it was considered unique as defined earlier, time was saved by leveraging our existing PLM content library. In this project, we worked closely with their implementation and core teams to know when the software customizations that they were making in Innovia were ready for us to then develop the training content. This project was also a PLM adoption project involving Innovia with a company in the high-tech industry. The company had previously surveyed their end users regarding their learning preferences for training on the new system. They also referenced lessons learned from their recent ERP implementation. The deliverables were in the form of 13 role-based e-learning modules containing short how-to videos, interactive content, knowledge checks, and software simulations. And all their training modules were designed to be mobile friendly. something deemed important for both their internal users and their external users, such as their suppliers. And this PLM eLearning project involved a company that manufactures generators and involved developing a custom eLearning program to train hundreds of their wind chill users on their new engineering change processes. So they had great documentation about their new processes, which were quite involved, as you can probably see in that spreadsheet. And this documentation was all extremely helpful, but it's not something that you can use for training. So our job was to make that content clear and concise in an e-learning format. So the result was 7 role-based e-learning modules that were imported into the client's learning management system. And this content also was considered unique, however, leveraged our library content and existing e-learning templates so that it saved time. And in some cases, the modules only required interface changes. The design philosophy is of seeing the content, hearing in the form of videos, and doing in the forms of interactive type exercises and hands-on software simulations was applied. The next topic is project workflow. So we thought it would help to show how we work with you on these types of projects. This is the project workflow we use on all our services projects. It starts with the initiation and proposal phase, then onto planning, development, and review before producing the final deliverables. So we've got the initiation, proposal, kickoff. So here we define the project objectives and scope with the client, as well as the target audience, roles, and deliverables, and create a proposal from that. I should also note, though, that we're very much into collaborating with clients. So to help with budget requirements and so forth, we can divide up the project tasks. So sometimes the company may have resources available to create some of the videos. Again, that's all taken into consideration and documented in the proposal. And then we have our kickoff, and we talk about the various kickoff things, including the success factors. And then on to planning. We definitely know the importance of planning out the project before starting the development, and we collect all the existing content that's available, all the requirements, and get access to the system that's required, and also confirm, and these are just some of the different offerings, of course, just listed out there, so we confirm either the outline, objectives, or both, as well as the layouts and templates and storyboards and data set. And of course, we create a communications plan and plan out the schedule. And we make sure to get a sign off before we start any development. So development and review. So the first thing we typically do is confirm the custom processes if it is a case of custom content that we're creating. So we want to make sure that to minimize any time or rework, I should say, we confirm this up front, and we develop then a draft 1 of the curriculum of the content, and then the client reviews that draft 1. And if needed, we can conduct a pilot training course or user assessment testing to obtain additional feedback. Then the final deliverables are produced by implementing the feedback from the draft 1 review. And we confirm that the client is satisfied with all the deliverables, and then they can either load it into their LMS if it's required, or basically share it with their end users. So now that document or the training is end user ready. So now for the recap. So that was the agenda. We provided an overview of ASCENT's professional services of technical editing, writing, and document creation and customized training. Then I showed you some examples of the customer projects with their before and after views, we ended off with talking about what happens in each stage of the projects and how we work with the client to produce the deliverables. So ultimately, these deliverables will help them achieve success in their product rollout or technology adoption. Hope that gives you an overview about some of the types and range of projects we've worked on with our clients. And next is, I'm passing it off to Corrine, who will talk more about our special offer.
Excellent. Thank you, Barb. Thanks for that overview. So yeah, before we wrap, I just want to share with this special offer with you. This comes right from our technical writing team. So they are inviting you to send over a sample of your writing or a technical document that maybe you've been working on. And our tech editors will spend up to 6 hours reviewing your document, and then they'll provide you with that complimentary documentation assessment report. So Barb had shown some samples of what that looked like a few slides earlier. We promise we won't mark up your work with a red pen like in this image. It'll be professionally typed out and presented to you. And essentially, it's like a report card they're giving you back. And so we'll give feedback with items such as layout and formatting, grammar and punctuation, language use, purpose and scope, the readability, and the tone. So you can send your sample to tech.writing@ascented.com. So it's really a great opportunity for you to have a professional writer and editor review your work. So I highly, highly recommend you take advantage of this offer. There's no cost to you at all. You just send us a sample of your writing, a sample of your technical work that you've got, and they will send you recommendations. And like personally, I'm in marketing, and I'm very fortunate that they're part of our team, so I get to use them all the time. But you know, and I do use them for assistance or for quick questions. You know, this team, they know their stuff, and they do provide really great recommendations. So we'll have that available for you. And if you go to our next slide, this just has all of our contact information. So our website will come up. There we go. Our website is there, our e-store, so you can check out, you know, all of the standard off-the-shelf content that we offer. Plus, we've got a section on our website for technical writing, for customization services, and there's our email address there again. And of course, if you want to talk to us, please pick up the phone and give us a call. We would love to chat with you.